I came across this story on the front page of my home screen where you have this woman by the name of Dawn Marie Bay, who was 38 years of age, is a lunch lady at a school, I believe in, I want to say Los Angeles, but it's actually in Louisiana. And they said that she allegedly had sleepovers where she sexually abused teenage boys. I'm trying to figure out, why is this grown woman having sleepovers and having kids over, unless she's doing the age old trick of maybe having a child herself and using that as a way to lure the boys over. If y'all remember, I did a video months ago where you had this woman, I think somewhere out in either Oregon or Washington, where she did the same thing, and she was targeting one boy in particular, and she basically tried to find companionship with this teenage boy, or this barely teenage boy, because she had an estranged relationship with her husband. Mind you, the woman was like in her 40s and was basically molesting this boy. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the woman got pregnant. I can't remember if she did or if she did. She basically pulled up Mary Kay Letourneau. And what was so sad about that story is because the boy ended up becoming suicidal. He didn't commit suicide because I think his family ended up getting him help. And they noticed behavioral patterns was changing. He was acting different. He wasn't the same. And she did that to him. And that's what a lot of people do not talk about. You know, Me Too, they're not going to touch this. They don't like talking about stories where the woman is the aggressor, or she's the abuser, or she's the rapist or the molester, because that's always a word or words that should be synonymous with a man. Yet we have another case right here. They said she has been charged with 10 counts of contributing to the delinquency of a juvenile and 8 counts of indecent behavior with a juvenile. So that's basically 18 counts right there. That means this happened on 18 different occasions. So let's continue. A Louisiana school cafeteria lady has been arrested on multiple charges after authorities say she held sleepovers at her home, during which she sexually abused teenage students. Dawn Marie Bay, age 38, has been charged with 10 counts of contributing to the delinquency of a juvenile and 8 counts of indecent behavior with a juvenile. Terrebonne Parish Sheriff Tim Soignet tells KLFY TV that Bay is accused of holding sleepovers for teenage boys ages 13 to 16. According to her arrest report, Bay would allow the boys to watch pornography and drink alcohol, and then would have sex with them. So to me, it sounds to me like she doesn't have kids, which I'm trying to figure out, how in the world did they just go over there and that's what happened. And see, the thing is, they like to get the boys when they're young, because that's when the hormones is raging. You know, when they say that terminology, hormones are raging, this is what they're talking about. Get them right there when it's at that beginning stage, at that point where you just probably mess with anything. Almost anything. And she knew that. She knows that. Bay was interviewed last weekend and arrested. According to the Homa Times, the sheriff's office received a complaint from one of the alleged victim's parents on April 21st. They immediately opened an investigation into Bay. Authorities tell the Times that they have interviewed several teens about the case and searched all their social media accounts as part of their investigation. Online records show that Bay has been booked into the Terrebonne Parish Criminal Justice Complex. Her bond has been set at $50,000. It should be higher than that. It is unclear whether she has obtained an attorney, and she has not yet entered a plea. And that's just basically more additional information. But yeah, this is like an ongoing thing. But see, like I say, groups like Me Too and Time's Up, them heifers over there, they don't look into stuff like this, because like I said, the ongoing theme is that the word rape and molestation and sexual assault and sexual abuse has to line up with that of a man. Is no way that a woman could possibly do this. And that's exactly why it's that line of thinking why women continuously get away with stuff like this. I mean, when's the last time you've seen a woman end up on the sex offenders list? I can't remember the last time I did a story. And when I did talk about them, a lot of the times they found a way to skate their ass off of that list, or from being on the list, if they were ever on it. Like, this woman lured some teenage boys to her home, had them watch porn basically to get them in the mood, because that's basically what it was, and then she had sex with them. Now imagine if the parent didn't find out, and I wonder how the parent found out, because this sounds like this has been ongoing. Like they said, she was the school lunch lady, so of course she had access to those kids. She saw them every day. So that means she had her sights. She knew exactly who she was going after. Every time they came through her line, she knew exactly who to go after. I'm just still trying to figure out how the parents didn't know. Like, what did these kids tell their parents? Or she probably told them, hey, so-and-so is having a sleepover and I'm inviting you over. Because the thing is, she probably didn't even tell them that she didn't have any kids, because I'm not seeing anything here that says that she has children. So she probably didn't tell them that she didn't have any kids, and she probably was like, well, my son or whoever was having a sleepover, so-and-so, would you like to come over for it? And they probably felt that they were cool with her. Maybe she's one of those people that works in a school that some kids like, and she used that to her advantage, and she took advantage of them. And like I said, you never know. This stuff right here can have some long-term psychological effects with kids or with boys down the line. Like I didn't talk to you about in that previous story. He became suicidal, or started having suicidal thoughts. His grades started to slip. And that happened because of what this grown woman did. And they better check into them to see if nothing is off about them, because she could have did something to them as well. But see, a lot of people don't think that deep into it, because it's always this thing, oh, well, these boys, they mess with an older woman, props to them. But they don't understand what mentally is going on in their mind in the process of all of that happening. For all we know, they said 13 to 16, some of them boys were probably virgins. So imagine their first sexual experience was with someone who was way older, who was old enough to be their mother, number one. 2, who lured them there under false pretenses, most likely. 3, sexually assault them, because this is technically statutory rape. And a host of other things I can't even think of at the moment. And then that's going to have them looking more to older women to mess with, and not, say, girls in their own age group, which means they could be setting another person up to get caught up in some stuff. Well, here's the thing. If you're an adult, you should be able to control your urges. This woman right here is an adult and could not. And they said ages 13 to 16. And when we look at all of those counts, that was a lot of boys that she did this with. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. And let me also add, this thing says she had sleepovers, not sleepover, which means she's done this more than once. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So she pretty much had a revolving door going on over there.